शहर में गुजरे हैं यादों के लम्हे.
Hi, welcome to another brand new episode of Salam Namaste Singapore Season 4. My name is Vinay Bharadwaj. And in this segment, I'm very excited to have a lawyer on my show. I'm very happy to have Sharanjeet, a practicing lawyer for about 25 years and also a director of her own law firm, Advox. Very happy to have you on the show, Sharanjeet.
Hi, Vinay. Hello.
Hello. First time, I've been doing Salam Namaste Singapore for this is our 4th season.
Okay.
And I was waiting to have a lawyer sit down and talk to me because there's so much to talk about.
True.
And this segment, what I want to really talk about is a topic which seems sensitive, but a topic that is need of the hour because a lot of people are going through. And there's so much of light that is required to be shed on this,
Sure.
which is divorce.
Okay.
Divorce is not easy for anyone, but people who are going through it, it's something which is okay to go through it. But there are so many questions that people have. So firstly, let me ask you, when someone's going through divorce, based on your experience, what are the things that they need to keep in mind?
It is a difficult process, but more difficult is talking about it, coming to terms with it, and knowing what to do. For some, it can be a very chaotic journey. For some, it can be simple because there's a lot of mutual consent between two parties. So that brings me to the point that, you see, it's okay not to be okay for your marriage. That's it. There's this thing on wellness and everything else. So similarly, if two parties are going through a tough time where their marriage is on the verge of breaking down, or maybe it's just, calling it quits because it's better for us to be apart than to be together. So in those kind of situations, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Firstly, you need to remember that divorce is a rearrangement of your family relationships. It is not the end. It may well be a start. Okay? And especially when there are children, I think the focus should be on how do we bring up our children. We are the parents. Let's co-parent. You and I can't get along, but we don't have to fight. We don't have to hate each other. But if you have got certain feelings against me and things like that, that's really understandable. It will take time, but that is not the way it should go and creep into our finances, into our decisions about the children. Let's make it as amicably as possible.
Right.
So how do we do this? Well, I think the first and most important thing is to be able to approach a lawyer.
Okay.
Of course, sometimes, you also have access to counselors, psychologists. It's perfectly normal. It's okay,
Yeah.
But knowing your rights, and when I say rights, it's not because you need to know what I can win. It's not a win or a lose thing, okay? It's what's the best outcome my family can achieve through this. And it's important then to realize that, you need to sit and you need to talk. And what's very crucial to know, and for everyone out there to know, is that you're not alone. Reach out. Reach out to a counselor, reach out to a psychologist, reach out to a good friend, and most importantly, reach out to a lawyer. A lawyer who is able to help you understand, empathize, and then strategize for you so that your journey is not so tough.
Right. And also, Sharanjeet, what I've understood is that divorces can be mutual and it can be one-sided.
Yes.
Right? Mutual is relatively easier because both the parties want the same thing.
Yes.
But when it is one-sided, that's where the problem comes in.
Okay, so let me deal with the easier one, yeah? Okay, so when it's mutual, it is totally a breeze. Because why is it mutual? Because both parties are able to see eye to eye. They know what they want, they know what's best, and they compromise. And if they have children, they want to co-parent. They know the importance of both their respective roles in the lives of the children.
Right.
People who go through mutual divorces actually, and I can say that because I've done a lot of these for my clients, they actually look back and they realize that it was so much beneficial to them in healing, in moving, and for their children and for the future. Because it's just not now; it's a long-term thing. You know, at first things can seem to be very heated and very contested, but after a while, it does simmer down, because when you go to court and you see the reality of how the court is, the lawyers and the court staff and the counsellors want to come in and try to resolve matters for you. So they need to look at things in that perspective. Why does a judge or why does a third party need to make a decision about how our children are going to be raised, how our finances are going to be? These are our issues. So let us mediate, let us draw up an agreement, let us come to terms, and we be in control of how we want things to be, because it's really a drain on the energy, on time, and more importantly on the pocket.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And usually, how long does a divorce procedure take?
If it is an uncontested mutual divorce, within 6 months, you can get your final judgment, which is, in Singapore, we call it the final judgment. In some countries, they call it the decree of divorce or the divorce certificate. So you see, there are very much a lot of benefits for a mutual divorce. Yeah.
And lastly, talking about divorce, there is a lot of emotional turmoil that happens as well.
Yes.
So as a lawyer, you might have seen so many cases in the past, right?
Yes.
What do you want to tell the viewers who are especially going through, either they are thinking of filing a divorce or they are in the procedure of getting a divorce? What are the things that they need to keep in mind, or what can they do?
Okay. Like I said earlier also, help is always there. It's very important to get hold of your emotions first before going through a court process. It can be cumbersome, it can be tiring on you, it can take a toll on your energy and your pocket.
Yeah.
As a family lawyer, I work closely with counsellors, psychologists, and I think it's very important that you speak to your lawyer or your psychologist or your counsellor to see how you can actually deal with emotions and heal and move on. You must be ready, and don't be afraid. There's always this thing about stigma and things like that, and family pressure, and what will happen to my children who, come up in a broken home for the sake of the children. I've heard all these things.
And Sharanjit, if my viewers who need help in divorce, when if they're going through or if they're thinking about it, how can they reach out to you?
They can call me for a consultation, and I'll be glad to connect them to the right professional if they are not ready for the divorce, or for dealing with, it's not only divorce but also any matrimonial issues, domestic violence, or just children issues, whatever. And if they need legal advice, I'm there.
Lovely talking to you.
Thank
Though
you.
the topic is a little, sensitive,
Yes.
but it is important to be spoken about.
Yes.
Because it's not a taboo. People going through that will understand that they want more support and help and
Yes.
acceptance.
Correct.
In today's times.
Yes.
I think that is wonderful having you on the show and talking
Thank
to
you,
you, Sharanjit.
Vinay.
Thank you.
It's,
Thank you for
I'm
being
glad
part.
that you called me on. Thank you.
Thank you. Two people being happy is important, either individually or together. It all depends on each of our journeys that we take. This was a very informative segment. I'm going to be back again with another interesting guest. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a short break. You're watching Salam Namaste Singapore Season 4, and my name is Vinay Bharadwaj. See you soon. Welcome back. You're watching Salam Namaste Singapore Season 4. In this segment, it's going to be very interesting and very informative. I have Dr. Devinder Singh, who is a senior consultant, cardiologist, and an electrophysiologist. Dr. Devinder, welcome to Salam Namaste Singapore.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure meeting you, Vinay.
Pleasure is mine as well, and I'm super excited to talk to you about one of the most Googled topics on this earth, which is cardiac health. Heart's so important for us all to function, and what this pandemic has taught us is the importance of health. So if you can shed some light on cardiac health, what exactly is a good cardiac health?
That's a very good question. I would say once you turn 40, everybody should get a yearly health screening. Not having hypertension, your cholesterol is controlled, you don't have diabetes, all these are risk factors that can lead to heart problem.
Right.
So having a good cardiac health means controlling those things or preventing those things that can lead to heart problem.
Right. So are you trying to say that, blood pressure, cholesterol are the symptoms that your heart health is not that good?
The reason we get heart problem is because of certain risk factors.
Right.
There are certain things that you can change and certain things that you can't change.
Yeah.
So genetics is something which we can't change. We can't change what we got from our parents. Hereditary. But what we can change is our lifestyle.
Right.
If you are not smoking, if your blood pressure is well controlled, if your cholesterol is good, if you don't have diabetes, your chances of having heart problem lowers significantly.
Right.
And when we talk about cardiac health, it's basically to prevent those risk factors that can lead to cardiac problems.
According to you, right, what are the top 3 things or tips rather, that people can keep in mind and do on their daily lives to have a good cardiac health?
Number 1, I would say, is to exercise regularly. Secondly, lifestyle is
very important.
Very important is don't smoke.
Right.
Smoking is one of the biggest risk factor for cardiac problems, especially heart attack. And the benefits goes beyond heart attack. It can prevent cancers, it can prevent stroke as well. Third thing I would say is, as I mentioned earlier, is regular screening.
And there is this one thing that I keep reading online, people posting on social media, oh, I had palpitation. It's a term that now people are starting to use very frequently. What exactly is palpitation? Is that a concern that your heart is not okay?
In simple term, palpitation means feeling your own heartbeat.
Right.
You must have felt, if you suddenly have to run or catch a bus, you might feel your heart thumping inside.
Yeah.
That is palpitation. But when you start feeling this, when you are not supposed to feel, like you are relaxed, watching TV and suddenly you feel your heart is racing, that's
a problem.
That's a problem. So
Right.
that is abnormal palpitation.
How do you know that you have a cardiac arrest?
So cardiac arrest means your heart has stopped from it has stopped. It could stop from a heart attack. It could stop from an electrical problem where the heart suddenly stops beating, and it is the very most common cause of sudden death. And it's a very serious condition. There are ways where you can tell a person is at risk of dying suddenly. There are certain pointers in history, like a person having a family history of heart problem. That means his parents having heart problem at a younger age. So these are the pointers that they may be at risk of having sudden cardiac arrest in future. If patient has hypertension, diabetes, raised cholesterol, he's a smoker. That means the combination of risk factors are there. That kind of, you can say, a recipe for having a heart attack. They are also at risk of having a cardiac arrest. But once a person gets cardiac arrest, it's not something that he can help himself at that point, because that is a point where a person who is watching him or is with him can help him or save his life. So I think if you're worried about cardiac arrest, we don't have to wait until we get cardiac arrest. We have to actually prevent those factors that can lead to cardiac arrest.
And that's when regular tests help.
Correct.
If there is a blockage, if there is an issue, we'll always get to know earlier.
Sure, yeah.
If there is a cardiac arrest, what are the symptoms that somebody with a person who's having a cardiac arrest can identify?
There are certain pointer or symptoms like easy fatigue, getting shortness of breath from doing activities which you could easily do, getting chest discomfort, spontaneous palpitation without any reasons. That means you feel your heart is racing without any provocation. All these are factors that tells that your heart health is not good. And it's something that needs attention. So instead of waiting on these symptoms and letting things get worse, it is better to seek medical care or attention when you start feeling these symptoms.
And if somebody has got cardiac arrest, then is it the first thing that happens is breathlessness?
The first thing which might happen with a cardiac arrest could be sudden death. That means a person can suddenly collapse. But chest pain may be the most common precursor.
Okay.
So that means, because as I mentioned, heart attack or blockage in your heart arteries leading to heart attack, which eventually leads to cardiac arrest, is the most common scenario of cardiac arrest. So if a person gets discomfort, tightness, or a sensation of pressure on his chest with cold sweats, pain going down his arms, like a typical scenario of having a heart attack, that is a precursor of cardiac arrest. and this is the time when you should call ambulance, not wait. And I would suggest that nobody should drive to hospital or ask their family members to bring them to hospital if they are having these symptoms, because if something happens on the way, nobody can help.
Ambulance is better.
Ambulance is the best.
Better.
It can save life.
Right. Another thing that I've always had this confusion that people always say when they have a little bit of chest discomfort, they will say this is gastritis.
Sometimes it may not be very easy to differentiate whether your symptoms, you are feeling this burning in your chest, whether is it gastritis or is it heart problem. But I would still say that we shouldn't ignore,
yes.
And we shouldn't discard symptoms in our chest as being, that you ate heavy meal, or this is not a heart problem and it will go away. Even if it is gastritis, the doctor can help differentiate. There are certain simple tests we can do. Just doing an ECG can differentiate whether your discomfort is coming from your heart or your stomach.
Lastly, I can see this mock-up heart in front of us. When there is a cardiac arrest or a blockage, what exactly happens in the heart?
You can see this is a heart model, and these tiny red lines are heart arteries. So they supply oxygenated blood to the heart muscles, and when we talk about heart attack, there is sudden blockage or clot formation in these arteries, and if that occurs, there is lack of blood supply to the heart muscles, leading to scarring or death of heart muscles, which is basically heart attack.
It was wonderful talking to you about cardiac arrest and heart health. I think this is the most important thing that people should be aware of. Being aware will help in terms of a lot more issues that can happen in the long term. And one of the common things that people do is go Google. So I think it's important to understand and seek medical help if there's anything. So lovely talking to you, and I can't wait to have you back again to talk about the solutions for cardiac health.
Thank you.
So that's it in this segment. What we learned, it was what is cardiac health, what are the tips that you need to keep in mind to have a good cardiac health, what are the things that you should watch out for if there is a symptom, if there is an issue in your heart health. So don't ignore. I'm going to take a short break and come back again. You don't go anywhere. This is Vinay Bharadwaj. You're watching Salam Namaste Singapore Season 4. Welcome back. You're watching Salam Namaste Singapore Season 4. In this segment, I'm going to be talking about everything related to skin health. I'm extremely happy to have Bhama, who is the founder, director, CEO of Lady Fair Beauty Center, one of the most oldest and celebrated beauty centers in Singapore. Welcome to Salam Namaste Singapore.
Thank you.
You are one of the oldest and the most trusted and credible beauty centers and not a salon in Singapore. Before I get into Lady Fair, right, I want to know more about you. How did you get into this business and where did it all start?
I was a teacher.
As a profession?
As a profession, but that was not my cup of tea. I thought I could do better, like curing people, because when I used to see people with acne and pimples, I used to be very perturbed as a teenager. So I packed off and went to London to take my formal skincare course. So when I came back, I straight away plunged into it, not knowing that it's going to be a business, because my concern was not business at all. My concern was how many people can I cure? That was my concern.
Wow.
So
the thought was very good.
Yeah, and I just advertised in the papers. People started flooding my salon. So I was taken aback, and I was not prepared for it really. So it was all my effort. There's no help that I got. So it was real hard work. I had to train people to handle clients, stuff like that. And those days it used to be like 40 over clients a day.
Oh my God.
And it was not easy. So it was really hard work.
So it all started there. And one of the USPs of Lady Fair Beauty Center is that you're called as a center, and not a salon, and you focus on solutions
Yes.
rather than any other cosmetic stuff, right? So tell us more about the USPs of the brand.
My main concern is how I should give people with problems to cure them and to give them a healthy skin.
Right.
Not whitening or make them look white or bright or whatever. That's not my concern at all.
So you focus more on skin health rather than just whitening the skin.
Yes, because-
I mean, we're all born with beautiful skin tone.
Not only that, Vinay, because people who do the whitening, instead of getting, they will be fair for a couple of months maybe or a couple of years, but later they will get back their hyperpigmentation. But this is something that people don't understand and they don't know.
Long-term harm.
Long-term harm. So if at all, Vinay, this whitening can make everybody fair, today the whole world will be filled with fair people. There will not be any more dark people.
In Singapore, what are the top 3 skin problems that you have seen in people?
It was shocking. It was mind-boggling because the kind of cases that came to me was very serious acne problem, very serious hyperpigmentation, and post-acne scars. And I was like, my God. So I started doing my own research in order to cure them. So what I studied in theory does not apply really directly to what I saw.
I wanted to ask you that I see a couple of products in your center. So are these products special? What is the usage benefits of it?
Yeah, it is all special because I study the skin, the ingredients that is involved with, because I've studied about all these things. So I will choose the products. I don't just blindly go and take, when somebody say this product is good and I go and take them. No, I will research on that product's ingredients and then only I will take the products.
Right.
And on top of it, I met a couple of scientists in Spain, told them what I wanted, created a brand for myself, which is called Camiel. So this has been tested for time and again for the past 35 years. So, and it is doing so well, so good, and I'm so happy, the clients are so happy.
So is it right to say that the best way to approach skin health and start this entire journey of having good skin health is to reach out to you and get a consultation to see how is the skin, what is the status of it, are there any problems, what kind of problems? So is that the right way?
That is the right way, actually, right? So that is the kind of practice I am doing here. Just like if you would go and see a doctor have to do a consultation on you to find out what's your problem. So you cannot go to the doctor and say, hey, I am not well, I want this kind of medicine. You know what I mean? So it's exactly the same.
And also another thing that I've seen, Bama, is a lot of youngsters today, because of the virtual world, filter world, you take a picture, you put 5 filters and you don't even look like that anymore. And they have confidence issues to go meet people in person because they don't look like that. Do you suggest that youngsters who might be dealing with acne problem or pigmentation problem or pores or scars, they should start young, is what you're saying?
Parents should guide them. I have given a lot of talks in the radio and everywhere targeting the youngsters,
Right.
because they have a long way to go and they can't be spoiling their face when they were in the teens itself. Then they are demoralizing themselves, they are losing their self-esteem and confidence and all that. So I have been targeting youngsters to see to that they do the right thing for their face, because the face is the masterpiece.
Absolutely.
God has created that, and if you go and damage it, so that is going to cause a lot of scar on in your lives.
Morale, your confidence goes low.
Confidence goes.
So is it right to say that the number of sessions that they need to come, or what kind of treatment is required, everything is based on the problem? Case to case basis, it's different.
Everything is based on what I diagnose their problem to be, and the prognosis will be based on that also. But you see, if people are having very serious acne problem, I will definitely recommend them to take a package, because they will have to come very frequently, which will cost them a lot. So if they take a package, it is really very much cheaper,
Beneficial,
so
yeah.
that they can afford it.
Right.
So that is what I'm trying to do to help the youngsters.
Right. And lastly, if at all you have to give tip to all the viewers, what is important for a good skin health?
Please avoid scrub, whitening products, products that has chemicals,
Yeah.
and even herbal products. They have whitening in herbal products, so they won't know which herbal product is safe to use, and they have to consult a professional person who knows what it is. So if they want to really get rid of the problem, they can come to Lady Fair, have a consultation and understand what the skin is all about and how we are going to rectify the problem. Then they are safe also.
Yes. So, one thing is about starting a business, building a brand, becoming a very successful entrepreneur. The other thing is to just staying on to that cause, that mission, that vision.
Yes.
That's very difficult, and you've done it brilliantly. Sticking on to your no scrub, no skin whitening, no chemical. And really, the place that we are in now is it doesn't feel like a salon. It looks like a clinic. It looks like a center which promotes health. What you've created, Bama, is brilliant. Congratulations on that. And 4 decades is not a joke. Being in this business,
Yeah.
it's been amazing journey for you, I must say. Last thoughts on the show?
Well, I also do hair treatment for
Okay.
people who have a lot of hair fall and stuff, and dandruff, stuff like that.
So skin or hair?
Skin or hair.
Lady Fair Beauty Center is the place.
And for men as
Men and women, yes.
Yes.
Anyone who can come here.
well. Yes.
Absolutely. It's lovely talking to you, and continue to help many people gain their confidence, because I think having good skin and good hair is somewhere, helps confidence, helps motivation, morale. So you're doing amazing. Please continue to do that, and all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely having you on the show.
You too. Thank you.
What Bama tells us is skin health always depends on what products you use on your skin, what do you eat, and how much do you sleep. That's it in this episode. I'm going to be back again with another very interesting episode. Until then, stay safe, stay happy. My name is Vinay Bharadwaj, and you are watching Salam Namaste Singapore Season 4.